assault Zack Snyder to do more DC movies if Justice League is successful. What it means for Batman. You guys heard about that they might. Did you guys hear about what's happening with Batman? Kind of give you guys a quick rundown of what's happening with Batman. Did you kind of hear about what happened there?
I know. Didn't Affleck sign a contract?
Well, did he? Did he sign a contract again? Did he sign another contract?
Just to I think fill part of the Snyder Cut.
Okay.
I think he
might. Okay, so just for that. Okay. There is talk though of him, and apparently, according to Midnight's Edge, that he may actually be doing. They might actually do the Batman movie that he wrote, because he wrote a script. Ben Affleck wrote a script.
Yeah, I'd be curious to read that. I really would.
And then he wrote a script, and then Jeff Johns wrote a script, and Jeff Johns was like, "I want this pretty boy, younger version of Batman because the story I want to tell is this." And so that's why he actually lobbied to get Robert Pattinson. That was according to Midnight's Edge. That's what Jeff Johns said. Jeff Johns was going to do that, and so that's kind of what they were going for. They were aiming Warner Media and DC Comics DC Universe, DC Films were aiming for that. They were aiming for a Robert Pattinson thing, but AT&T enters the conversation, right? And it's a whole different ball. Like they're like, hang on a second, let's see what Ben Affleck. Like apparently Ben Affleck is like on the table, like in discussions. Like they might do his Batman film. It's called The Batman. It was like based on year one stuff or whatever originally, but he was gonna, he was gonna fight Deathstroke and those other things. So
the thing is though, how would that tie into the Pattinson one?
It wouldn't. So
just Snyder would direct it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about who would direct it, but I know that Snyder would be probably instrumental in helping that go through, etc. It'll be tied in with this. My point is personally, they've raised it to $80 million. They've probably paid him way more than this. If they raise it to $80 million, they're giving him this much money to finish it. I think we're going to get like a Justice League 1 and 2. We're going to get a full 2-film like sequence, at least where we get to see Darkseid gets defeated, etc. All these things. Anyway,
I'm definitely curious about it. I you know how I feel about Zack Snyder. I'm not a Zack Snyder guy, and I did pinpoint. I was thinking about it with you. You know what I mean? Because I remember you and I were kind of talking about this, and I've said that like I find his movies beautiful to look at. They look gorgeous, but you know what it's about is his character development in his films. I feel like is just weak. I feel like all of his people are cardboard cutouts. Like the way they talk, the way they react, they're just kind of not. They just seem stiff to me. And that's what I was thinking long and hard about that the other day. I'm like, looks gorgeous, but everybody just seems kind of stiff in his movie.
I think compared to Man of Steel has the most development though. Yeah. I think it's Man of Steel, because in my personal opinion and from what I've read, Chris Nolan was much more heavily involved in Man of Steel. And they just put him they actually just put him as the producer credit on BVS because he just whatever. But anyway, for whatever that's worth, I think. Go ahead.
Sorry, but I did want to mention this. If I've been using HBO Max, my friend's account, and they have the extended edition of Batman v Superman, and it's 3 hours long.
Yeah. It's better.
It's pretty good.
Better. It's 10 times better. It's 10 times better. I have that original theatrical. It's the director's cut. They call it the ultimate cut, but it's the director's cut. It's just what Zack Snyder originally wanted, and they made him cut it down to size, and it ended up just not making any sense in the theater, which is why the movie didn't do well in the theater. And I think that, and I've said this before, I'll say it one more time, and we'll be done with it. Zack Snyder has good ideas. He just wants to always make these 3-hour-long movies. He needs to shorten them down, make them into 1.5-hour, 2-hour movies, and then just cut those ideas up a little bit, because for a digestible audience. It's the same thing with pop music. You got to cut a song down to under 4 minutes if you want anybody to listen to the thing. It's the same concept with the audience. If you want people to actually, because you have to play into people's attention spans too. You can't. And it's just that, that's the reason why that's why the Justice League movie, the Joss Whedon piece of crap, tanked hard, because they said no, it has to be under 2 hours. They made him cut it down to 2 hours. So
I think there's a way to do it to make it 2 hours and still good. I think you can still do it. I just don't think Snyder's good at doing that. He wants to drag it out. And some people like that. I feel like superhero movies and horror movies should not be more than 2 hours long. Those are the two kind of films that I feel like 2 hours is fine. Actually, horror movies are even worse. Horror movies should be an hour and a half, right? This is no excuse. I remember watching It Part 2. It was like 2.5 hours. I'm like, you want me to sit through a horror movie for 2.5 hours? What? You know?
Well, It Part 2 wasn't anything compared to the first one. The first one was so much better than the second. The second one was just like this wash. It was just like, where did it all go? Where did all the magic go? It just kind of dissipated, right? At least that's what it seemed like to me. I don't know. It was still fun. I think both you and I did Ant-Man 2 reviews, didn't we? Both of us.
No, I didn't do an Ant-Man review. No. Okay.
Anyway, but let's read into this article real quick. Just see what information we can get here. Thanks everybody for being here. Destroy the like button. Have a one night stand with the like button. Let's see here. Big scoop of July. A big 4th of July scoop landed over the holiday. This huge implication of the future DC cinema. Zack Snyder and the Batman of the Multiverse YouTube channel, the Pop Culture Minefield, broke a new scoop that Geekosities Mikey Sutton. He claims Snyder could be allowed to make up for the lost time and make more DC related movies if his Justice League is successful. Of course, well, that's obvious. I mean, if HBO, because it's like AT&T is kind of running the show now. AT&T is like, oh, we just bought you guys. Yeah, we're just gonna, we're gonna fly with this how we goes. I bet you anything there's some serious DC fans that are like in the CEO ship, whatever you're gonna call it, that own a lot of stock in.
Oh yes, definitely.
HBO Max would be the prime venue for any network since censorship and compromise won't be an issue. Yeah. He'd have his freedom there, much like we had J.J. Abrams with Justice League Dark. If J.J. Abrams is Justice League. I just don't want I don't want J.J. Abrams in there at all.
I don't. Good. Nope.
It's not yet clear. It's not clear yet what Snyder could be offered, but Sutton believes something based on the Justice League Injustice games is on the table, and the Keith of PCM points out aspects of Injustice were incorporated into. So, and that's the thing is that's the thing that he's always been into. Zack Snyder's been into the Injustice first, right? He's into the Elseworld stuff where, I mean, he loves making Batman evil, he loves making Superman evil because it's weird and different when it's like he didn't even establish really the initial, and that's why everybody had a problem with it. It's like, establish your Superman first, then, have him go, have him be changed or whatever and all these things. So anyway, it was crazy to think about. It's crazy, I just hope that it is successful. I hope that it does well, and I hope that he gets Nolan involved in this, and I hope he just gets really good writers because it looks like it's going to be. I predict that it's going to be like a 3-season, maybe 6-hour-long episodes of 3 seasons of Justice League, right?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I've been wanting to do a video on this too, and it's like everything just keeps still changing and moving parts around. So it's like I feel like I can't yet until there's more solid information out there. Mm-hmm. I've been like collecting notes on this since they announced the Snyder Cut. I just feel like I can't do an actual video yet.
So yeah, I know it's there's so much craziness and it's all discombobulated. So Almighty Coon says, "Hail Almighty Coon! Everybody check out Almighty Coon. He's got a great channel over there. Super passionate about games and awesome games, and he's really into Diablo. Really fucking cool channel. Go check out Almighty Coon. Almighty Coon, if you want, go ahead and put one of your videos in the chat there. Hail Dawn of Dark.
South Park. Every time I hear the Coon, like the Coon, I think of South Park.
No, it's cool. I
gotta check it out. Yeah,
he's a good channel. So let's see. So I from what I hear, it's April of 2021. That's what I heard. He's asking when it's coming, when this is releasing, and let's look this up because I remember last time I looked at it, it was April of.
It'll get delayed. It's gonna get delayed. It'll probably get delayed. And I agree with you, Black Hat, about Abrams. He's good at pretending. I'll give Abrams credit for one thing, and that was the show Lost. That is it. That is the only thing I will give Abrams credit for. I used to love Lost. I mean, they ended up fucking it up at the end, but it started out. Lost is still, I would say, top 10.
I think everybody loved Lost at the beginning. Everybody. I mean, it was a running joke in like so many. Like you would just see it randomly appear in a movie. I never found out what happened on Lost too, and it was just this total pop culture like misstep because it was like this, I mean, people loved the show. My girlfriend at the time, she loved that show.
It was like crack. It was like you'd get pissed off because remember, this was before like you had to get in front of your television to watch it. Like you couldn't just DVR it. It was before then. So it's like it's on, and then something would happen, and you'd hear that music, that dun. You knew the end of the episode was coming, and then something big happens, and then the Lost logo. And you're like, fuck! You have to wait another week.
And the ending of that was seriously, it's like the same level as Game of Thrones. I mean, it wasn't that big of an event as Game of Thrones, but it was the same level of like, what are they? They're all just what? They're just going to hang out in this church together, and they're all just shaking hands and hugging. I was just like, what the this is like the last episode of Seinfeld.
I went back and I watched like an extended version of that finale, and it was better. Like I almost started crying a little bit. I was watching, I was like, oh my God, this is not bad. Sometimes things are better if you wait and just like watch it again. Like I remember The Sopranos. I hated the ending originally, and then I watched it again, and I was like, all right, it's growing on me. I get it. You know,
Sopranos was an amazing series. So really quickly, Almighty Kun. So I just want to answer his question. It says they're saying it's 2021. And that's all they said. But last time I read about it, it was they were shooting for April of 2021. That's what they're saying. So anyway, just don't subscribe to HBO Max until it drops. That's
I can tell you right now firsthand, it's not cooked yet. Like it is not ready. Yeah,
they're. I mean, there's a lot of stuff done, but they're doing more. So it's like it's obvious that if I were Zach, I'd be like, okay, so how am I going to finish this thing instead of just finish what he started initially? It's like he's got all this extra money. He might as well do the end, finish it, and do an actual full story arc instead of just having it end. Because that's the way the movie was supposed to end. Was just with like, oh, and Darkseid is still here, so we'll see you next time. Anyway,
good. Better be good. $80 million thrown at this thing, maybe even more. Man, they can't fuck this up. That's for sure.
They better not. I know it's like they're giving him all this money, so he'd better have good writers that just make the writing good, you know?
I know, but sometimes a longer runtime doesn't mean a better film. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I'm right with you there. And what I'm saying is I hope that he gets some people with him in there to be like, okay, let's go over this. Let's go over the script. Let's make sure everything really makes sense. Let's make sure everything is really compelling. Let's make sure all the stories are somewhat interesting to intricately weave into this giant rope of goodness, you know? Yeah, man. Much appreciated to you, Almighty Kun. Yeah. If you want, throw one of your videos in the chat there so people can grab onto your channel here. Black Hat Cinephile says, hail to you, and hail to you for getting me that damn gumball. I choose a cup of coffee.
That's an expensive gumball. It's more like a jawbreaker. Where are you buying your gumballs, Donna?
That's a gumball that's going to make me inflate and float to the ceiling like a giant goddamn blueberry. And sing Oompa Doompa. So let's see what else does this article have to say. Let's see what else do they say about this. An adaptation of Injustice, Gods Among Us, and that's what everybody says. Of course, like Zach is obsessed with this like alternate Elseworlds DC Comics, right? DC Comics on the dark side, and it's like, and that people said specifically they should just have Zack Snyder run the Elseworlds of DC and then have a regular DC universe running along parallel to it, you know? Anyway, it's just he's all about the darkness of DC, which is fine, but it's you gotta have you know, it's like to have only the darkness. People are gonna get sick of it. People got pissed off. Why do you think people hated, you know, BVS so much? Because it was so damn dark. Everybody hated that so much. The Keith added Snyder wouldn't be restricted by standard running times, blah, 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 and to tell cool and edgy story of Injustice, and it'd be a real treat for younger audiences. So yeah, I mean, and as Black Hat said, he said Batfleck is Batman, right? That's what he said. He's the epitome of Batman. He looks exactly like the Batman from the comics.
No, I'll give it that. I mean, I was laughing though when I'd hear him talk though. I'd be like, he sounds like he's doing a bad Christian Bale impersonation. You know, that's what it sounded like every time he talked. But
well, I mean, everybody, but that's funny that you said that because everybody makes fun of Christian Bale. Christian Bale's just like, swear to me, and blah. Whereas he's
swear to me.
Now we're talking bats. You know, it's just like the whole thing is like this almost comical thing. I mean, it's become a meme. You know, like swear to me. That's a total meme now. And I think a lot of people in retrospect do make fun of the Chris Nolan one more than Batfleck because Batfleck was actually using a real vocoder. He's using so it's a real voice deepener that goes and it actually just takes his voice down an octave or two or whatever, how many octaves it's a vocoder which actually alters your voice, which is what he does in a lot of the comics.
Yeah, I felt like in Batman v Superman, I call it the virginity movie because they say, you know, you punch your V card. I don't know why. Seeing the V there, I just call it the virginity movie, the virginity Batman movie. Right. So, but I feel like he really tried in that movie. Like he got cut a little bit, he got ripped. And then in Justice League, I felt like at that point he gave up and was like scarfing down donuts on the side. And like it looked like he was like wearing something that was like tucking in his gut. At some point, like it was just becoming like a lazy, Batman.
Yeah, he had to work out his. Yeah, I mean he's older too, so that's why. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just, if you look at the way some of the shots are cut in Justice League, not Batman versus Superman. Sure. Like I said, he tried in that one, but like in Justice League, the way some of the camera angles are, you barely ever see him from like here down. A lot of his shots where it's just him as Bruce Wayne. Like you see as Batman because he's got the suit on. But like his Bruce Wayne shots, like they're trying to hide a gut.
Well, I mean, because I know that that guy's been through a lot.
He has.
I mean,
he has
been through. He's like, I mean, I'm not going to feel bad for him, you know, whatever. He's got millions, but the point is that he's, you know, addiction. I mean, I think a lot of people just said that he was complaining about like having to keep your body up like that is a pain in the ass. So it's a lot of work. You know. It's like for that amount of time. And he was doing it for a while. I mean, they put him in like 3 freaking movies and as Batman. So he's got to be buff as hell for all 3 movies. And it's like it was just a cameo in a couple of them. He wasn't even like a really main character in all of them. So
he doesn't get a lot of respect either. It's because, you know, he never had a solo film. You know what I mean? So I think people judge him more because of that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we'll just finish this out and get the heck out of here. Everybody subscribe to Whirlwind Potato. This guy is a maniac. He's amazing. He's hilarious. He's super creative and brilliant. His videos are awesome, and they deserve a lot more views. Subscribe to Whirlwind Potato. Check his videos out. His link is going to be in the description. I didn't put it yet, but if you want to put your link in there, you can. Whirlwind. But let's read the rest of this article real quick here. Wait, that's the wrong one. So Sutton had another scoop dovetailing on a report that you may have heard by now, and that is AT&T is open to Ben Affleck returning as Batman to complete the movie he bowed out of. So as I said before, this is labeled a rumor, but it's a heavy rumor, and it's being circulated all over the place. It's not just this, you know, light thing. It's a real thing. This proposal is also for HBO Max. Sutton stated insiders are certain a comeback of Affleck is happening, but it too deepens on the reception of the Snyder Cut. So obviously, if the Snyder Cut does well, if it gets HBO Max, that's a number of subscribers that they need, because that's all they can measure it by, right? It's just the number of subscribers that they were able to reel in. It's like how many people are going to drop off right after that. I know I will. It's like how many. I'm sure that you're going to get your number of people who end up staying just because. The Oscar winner's preference for creative freedom this time might be a condition as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, and if he's able to have Jeff Johns allegedly interfered with Affleck's script for the Batman. So this is, once again, this links back to the stuff I talked about before. Midnight's Edge reported on this. Batman, which led to the writer-director stepping away and the mutual product getting passed along to Matt Reeves. So anyway, I mean, they just wanted to make a younger Batman, which is fine. But, you know, this whole Zack Snyderverse was building and people were loving Ben Affleck. And I think people really wanted to see what happens here. So it'll be really interesting to see the success of it. And I firmly believe that if Snyder was allowed to do his original cut in the theater, that it would have done a lot better. I think it would have done a lot better, even if it was longer. I think it still would have done a lot better because you have a fierce force of fans that love it so much and love Snyder and love his ideas, love what he does. So yeah,
think more importantly, though, I'm not sure if even Affleck. I mean, they're saying like, oh, maybe Ben, but I don't even think Ben really wants to. I mean, he did the Daredevil thing that failed. I mean, he took a lot of criticism as Batman. He's kind of sick of it. He got screwed over with his script and forced out. I think he kind of wants to. I get the impression that he wants to focus more on directing and writing right now than actually starring in something of that caliber, anyway. I could be wrong, but it's just kind of the vibe I get from Affleck, and I don't blame him. You know. But I am curious about Matt Reeves' version because I know he said he wanted to focus more on the detective side, which a lot of those other films didn't, you know? So I'm very curious about that because he is supposed to be the world's greatest detective, right? So let's see it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's definitely, I think that Batman's a big enough and popular enough character that they could literally have they could have two Batman going on at the same time. They literally could. I mean, it's like DC is. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think DC has a wealth of fans, and to the point where people would still love it. I mean, and then you got all the normies that love it. You got millions of people who love Ben Affleck, so it doesn't matter. People love it. People love Ben Affleck. To be fair, Affleck did better Batman than expected. Almighty Coon says. But still don't like him or think he's a good Batman. Yeah, I know. There's a lot. I mean, it's like. I mean, everybody has their own perfect version of what he could be, and everybody still hates this. You know, everybody still wants the gray suit back from the animated series, like just that, you know, the gray suit, etc. People want these specific things about him. And tell us, Almighty Coon, who would your pick for Batman permanent? Who would you pick for Batman? You know, in general.
The thing is, though, Ben, I actually did a video on this. It's like one of my first videos I did where I graded each Batman, but I graded them. I gave him two different grades as Bruce Wayne and as Batman because I feel like they're two different characters, you know. And I know because I felt like Michael Keaton. I thought Michael Keaton was a great Batman, but I thought he was kind of a dorky Bruce Wayne. Like I didn't really see, you know, he's supposed to be a playboy, you know, man. I didn't really see that look, and I thought, you know, Val Kilmer looked more like the Playboy version, but he was a horrible Batman. Like as a Batman, he like the collagen lips, and like he just looked too pretty. Like he did not look good as Batman. He was not a good Batman at all.
I think it would have worked. It's just the movies were just kind of terrible. I barely remember those movies, but yeah, poor Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was like, he's a great actor too. Like he did, like I loved him in The Doors. Remember him? Yeah. Like he's an incredible actor, and it's like if they had given him a good script, a good movie, he would have. I thought he would have been a good Batman.
Now I think he doesn't have a voice box. He can't even barely talk. He had his his voice box taken out.
Back then he had his voice taken out.
No, now you see him now. He can't barely talk because he had throat cancer. So.
God damn, man, I feel bad for that guy, man. He was one of my favorite actors of all time. Have you guys ever seen the movie Real Genius? If you haven't seen that, I recommend it strongly. It's one of the funniest movies you've ever seen. Val Kilmer at his finest, and he's like
that tonight.
He's like 19 or 20 years old in the movie, and it's fucking out. It's off the hook. It's so funny. Classic Lou, hail to Classic Lou reviews. Go to subscribe and check out Classic Lou. He's a great dude, super artistic and creative. And he's actually in LA. He's been in music videos. Classic Lou. He's been in music videos. I think he's been in a Metallica video. I want to say that's Metallica or Alice in Chains. Forgive me, Classic Lou. I know that you're in a music video. He's in there. He's in the whole mess of it. He's doing the real. He's a real artist out there. I'm just a pretend. I'm just a make believe dude.
You're a wannabe.
I'm just a wannabe. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds as Batman. Black Hat said.
Not anymore. I think that can't happen. Just because of his voice now, you just know you're only going to see Deadpool. It's not. Yeah, it's.
I think that he's capable of pulling it off, but I think you're right. It's one of those things where it's you have to win the audience over. You have to win over just more than just one person, and that's extremely difficult to do. Yeah, Classic Lou, you know what I'm talking about. You know that movie, Real Genius. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's like nobody knows this movie. It's so fucking funny.
I'm going to watch it tonight, actually, Ben. For you, I will watch that tonight.
You will laugh your ass off. It's so funny. Val Kilmer is so funny. I mean, he's cutting liquid nitrogen to make quarters, and because there are geniuses in college, and he's cutting liquid nitrogen for quarters to put in the machine to get a drink. It's really funny. Okay, yeah, and in Top Secret, he was amazing in Top Secret too. Here we go. We're going on our Val Kilmer rant here. Exactly. So good. So good. He was hilarious in Top Secret. I always remember the scene where he's playing the rock star and all the women are screaming for him in Top Secret. It's so funny. And the backwards scene, and okay, all right, there's millions of things we could talk about Top Secret.
Yeah, we could go on and on.
Okay, so Almighty Coon says get Bale back, but that time's passed. Get Christian Bale back. Honestly, cannot think of a young known actor that can handle the role. Maybe have role split. One back like they did. Like they
you
did
know
with,
what? It could work.
like you were just saying. Well, you just said they're two different characters.
That's like a V for Vendetta kind of thing. You know?
That would be impossible for the audience, but it's the same concept as what they did with the Hulk in the 70s, right?
Yes,
yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Black Cat says, no, that's not what I meant. I'm multitasking. I probably should have. Okay. So he did not mean Ryan Reynolds as Batman. Dawn of Darkness says Christian Bale for Batman. Yeah. It's like all these things. There's all these things. Everybody has a personal, like, oh, well, it should have been her. I mean, it's like Michael Keaton still was. I mean, everybody was up in arms about Michael Keaton being selected and not Adam West, right? I mean, way back when, everybody was like, why didn't you get Adam West? People were so pissed about them not choosing Adam West. And then now everybody's won over by Michael Keaton, and everybody's freaking out about this Michael Keaton return, which I wonder if they touch on this. I bet they touch on that in here. Affleck's Batman would separate the Reeves. Okay, separate from the Reeves. Okay, so they're talking about it will be separate. So Robert Pattinson as set in the DC Extended Universe. I hate it when they call it that because it's not what it's called. With the Deathstroke as the bad guy, and it would be HBO Max. So that's Affleck's Batman. No, just kidding. So Deathstroke's in the Robert Pattinson one. Okay, I thought Ben Affleck was determined to have Deathstroke in his movie, but oh well. Well, that's beside the point. AT&T is unconcerned if they take leans into more mature R-rated zones. See, there you go. I mean, and that's what Zack Snyder wanted to do. So it seems to me like they're going to keep Snyder on for a while, and that's what it seems like. Let's see if there's anything about the Keaton thing here.
They got to be careful though if they're going to have all these Batmans. It's not run it to the ground. Like I remember the funniest thing I saw on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was a couple months ago, was someone saying, William Dafoe would be a great Joker, and then a bunch of people were like, no more Jokers. We do not fucking need that anymore. We have enough.
When he would be a good Joker,
but it's true. We don't need any more fucking Jokers right now. We're good. We're good. All right. Well, there's like a bunch of different versions of them. We're good.
That's funny that you mentioned that because do you remember that interview with Joaquin Phoenix when Joaquin was like, they were asking him like, okay, so at the end, it seems like you're not really the Joker. Are you really the Joker? Or are you not? He's like, oh yeah. Wait a minute. Really? Wait. No, I'm the fucking Joker. Like he was just.
You see, I actually kind of thought he was a Joker, but I wasn't confident that he's that Joker because he could be anybody. Right. You know what I mean? I don't know. He probably is. He's supposed to be, but I didn't. When I first saw it, I didn't read into it that way. I didn't think Joaquin Phoenix was that Joker.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem as smart. Because the Clown Prince is kind of supposed to be smart, and he wasn't smart at all. He just kind of shot people on a subway, did all this weird, crazy shit. You know what I mean?
I think that once he realizes, because I think you're absolutely right. He's not aware of what's happening. And I think that he was on the medication too. So like once he stopped taking his medication, he was kind of on it though. And it seemed that way. And I think personally that like if they make, apparently a sequel is in the works, that they'll make him smarter as he progresses and as he regresses into it, and doesn't take his medication or whatever. And or if he's really anyway. Yeah.
Another reason I didn't think he was that Joker that ends up becoming Batman's nemesis was because it was called Joker, not the Joker.
Right.
So that's another reason I thought that, but I know I'm probably wrong. But.
Well, I think, the whole concept was just so he can get the movie made. He was just like, let's call it Joker. And so we can get this thing made because that's what was popular. It's like, he wanted to make a film that took place in the early 80s that was like, forgive me for saying so, but, like Taxi Driver. I know everybody calls it just Taxi Driver with the Joker in it, which is kind of what it is. Almighty Coon says now a younger Affleck playing a live action Batman Beyond. So yeah, would be worked. Could have worked. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I mean, what they should do is have Pattinson play the younger Batman and have the Batman Beyond. And I mean, apparently Jeff Johns and all the Warner Media are like trying to get them to not do the Batman Beyond thing, but like AT&T is just like, F you, we're doing this. And so
they're doubling down. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, these are all things that fans actually want instead of just them, ignoring the fans and doing, and there's a huge fan base that wants this, that would love to see Michael Keaton back. It puts people in the seats if the theaters are going to actually air this thing, which none of us know if that's even going to happen. Are we going to even see Tenet? Are we even going to see Dune? Dune and Tenet are supposed to be out this year, and James Bond is supposed to be out. It's like, we have no idea if we're going to see any of these movies. They should just release it digitally.
Dawn of Darkness says Pennywise versus Joker. Really? I mean, Pennywise is an alien, so he's going to win. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I would wish Joker would win, but sorry, Pennywise. He's going to fuck with you, and he's an alien.
He can kind of shape shift and
yeah.
Let's see. Curtis Weisey says he would be a great Joker. Who are they talking about? Let's see. Let's go back here. Are you talking about William Dafoe? Let's see who you're talking about. Let me put on CGI apps. Tom Dark says put on the CGI apps. Yeah. Black Hat says I was comparing Affleck to he was comparing Affleck to Reynolds. Okay, those are both funny shit shows in comic book genre movies. That's funny. The Green Lantern was. Okay, so that's a really interesting concept. So he was comparing Affleck Daredevil Batman to Reynolds Green Lantern Deadpool. That's actually that's an awesome correlation. I love that. That's awesome, Black Hat. Welcome. Yeah, man. Hail, Black Hat. I can find your. What did I do with that? Yeah.
It hasn't been confirmed though that Keaton's coming back for the Flash movie. It's just speculation right now, right? It's not confirmed, right?
None of these are all confirmed, but according to higher ups at Warner and AT&T, that these are like real. This is real stuff. No,
it's definitely real. There's definitely talk going on, some chatter.
There's nothing confirmed, of course, but this is stuff that's being confirmed by real sources and being really talked about. Classic Lou says BOP2 canceled and Harley role in the new Suicide Squad. Okay, Birds of Prey 2 canceled and Harley role on the new Suicide Squad has been reduced because Warner Brothers moving away from the character now. That's crazy. They really canceled. Okay, so I knew that Birds of Prey 2 was canceled, but I thought you were saying that Suicide Squad 2 was canceled, but
they're gonna have to fix Suicide Squad. Fuck Suicide Squad. You know why? Because they let Will Smith run amok with that movie. It was way too Will Smithy. Am I right? Like, you could tell he had so much say in that movie because he was just Will Smith.
Right.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was so pissed off at that movie.
Well, apparently he was like, every movie that he he's like, can I get my whole family to be in the movie? Like he tries to force his whole family to be in the movie with him. It's like
his tone and his jokes and the way he carries himself. You could tell he gets his way a lot.
Yeah. It
was way too Will Smithy in that movie.
Yeah. How about the guy who played? Okay. Dawn of Darkness says, How about the guy who played Bruce on the Gotham TV show once he gets older? Yeah, I mean, I thought he was good British actor, good young British actor, following in the Christian Bale footsteps. But, I wouldn't mind him choosing an American for once.
How do you feel about Matt Reeves?
I loved his Apes movies.
They were surprisingly really good, right? I was actually kind of shocked at how good that trilogy was. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt until proven wrong. I think he has a good idea. He's definitely brainwashed by he's definitely in the Abrams verse. Like, he's friends with all the Abrams people, so he's like in that line of thinking. He's a very like leftist kind of guy, but it is what it is. It's fine. He's still a good writer and he has good ideas. So I'm fine to, anyway. Sorry guys. Let's see. But I wanted to see. Curtis Weisey said he would be a great Joker. Who are you talking about, Curtis Weisey? I wonder who he's talking about. Well, Willem Dafoe. Sorry. Yeah, Willem Dafoe. Of course. Yeah, he would be. Someone also said Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp could be a good Joker. I think Johnny Depp could be. They both have the eyes. Well, I know Defoe's got those eyes, those crazy eyes. Yeah, he could be. But
did you see him in Wild at Heart? Did you see that movie?
Yeah.
If anybody likes the idea of Willem Dafoe being the Joker, watch Wild at Heart, David Lynch. That's a fantastic film, and he plays a crazy, crazy fucked up villain in that movie, and he's awesome, and he's scary as hell. He's great.
Or you could watch him in a horrible movie in Speed 2. Because it's a horrible movie, but I will say, like, as a villain in that movie, he plays it kind of crazy, and you could see how he could be the Joker for sure.
Is that the one when they're in a cruise ship? It's a cruise ship speeding.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves was like, I'm not fucking doing this movie, and they get that. Who do they get? Oh God, who is that guy? I see his stupid face too, and it's just. I don't
remember. The only reason I saw Speed 2 was because I got it free on a double disc or like a triple disc set with like, it was like get 3 movies for the price of 1. And so Speed 2 was actually on there. I'm like, I'll check it out. It was like poor Sandra Bullock is like she's like running the show. She's like, okay, everybody, let's slow this cruise ship down. It's just it's pretty it's pretty funny. That movie was pretty bad. Dart blindfolded. Okay, he's gonna throw. Almighty Coon says he's gonna throw a dart in blindfolded. Stephen Amell. Who? I'm trying to remember who Stephen Amell is. I'm drawing a blank here.
Cruise control.
Oh yeah, of course. What am I talking about? He's the dude. Of course, he was Arrow. He's Arrow in Canadian actor. He's in Arrow. He was the Arrow in all the Green Arrow movie, the TV show. The only TV show that was actually good in the DC TV Warner Brothers bullcrap verse. That whole thing was bullshit. But yeah, he's great. He would be a great Batman. I think he'd be good. Let's see. Reeves ditched poor Sandra. It was so good. Yeah, because it's like poor Sandra Bullock. Like, it was a funny thing to see. I don't know if anybody saw them recently, but Sandra Bullock's like, oh yeah, we never hooked up, but we coulda.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah, they really liked each other, but they never hooked up, and so they're trying to get them together again. It's kind of funny, because they were in a couple movies together besides that. So anyway. Keanu Reeves as Batman. Exactly. I think a lot of people would go fucking crazy if Keanu Reeves was Batman.
I would pay money to see him in a Batman costume and just say, whoa.
Just like him, and then he like runs into Ted and they're in Bill all of a sudden.
Dude.
Or just get the same producers as John Wick and then just do a Batman movie and have Keanu Reeves do it, and just have all the same stunt coordinators as John Wick, and just have it be this amazing martial arts badassery that just is off the hook. I would love it. I would love that. Keanu Reeves as Batman. Hail. That's a great idea.
I just want to see it. I don't think it's a good idea, but I want to see it.
I think when Keanu started, he had a lot of work to do, and I think he's found his niche. He knows he knows what he's good at, and he just does that. He doesn't try to do anything like he's like, okay, I don't want to do another Dracula. I don't want. It's like he knows that he's able to do what he can. He just does that. He doesn't try to do other.
Hollywood tried to push him into romantic movies for a while. Remember that? There was a couple. He was in like some romantic. He was in quite a few like romantic films that just never worked.
Yeah. Classic Lou says they return to the magic in Lake House.
Oh, the fucking Lake House! I remember that stupid ass movie. Him and Sandra Bullock. Oh God, I forgot about the stupid Lake House movie.
I don't think I saw that one. I don't think that one. That's definitely one I missed. It'd be sick if Keanu was Curtis Wisey. Hail Curtis Wisey, everybody! Go check out Curtis Wisey, one of the most underrated badasses on YouTube. This dude kicks ass. Go subscribe to his channel. Go check out his videos. Curtis Wisey's videos are fucking awesome. So cool, man. He's got a great channel, and I love his movie reviews. I love his game. Everything he does is awesome. He says it'd be sick if Keanu was good as Batman, but I'd have to see it first to believe it. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think they could do it well if they just don't, I don't know. There's a lot of great people to do, but I think people would just go ape shit because everybody loves Keanu right now, and people are just going ape shit over Keanu right now. So
Keanu Sans. Yes.
And Alex Winter as the Joker.
Alex Winter would do anything. I'm sure he's happy he got a paycheck for Bill and Ted 3.
That would be hilarious because it's Bill and Ted, and you got Bill and Ted. That'd be that's hilarious. Classic Blue. Hail to you, man. That's really funny. Curtis says, hey, I saw The Lake House. I remember liking it, but I don't remember much. Yeah. I mean, I remember movies about lake houses and stuff like that, but it just reminds me of that movie where Harrison Ford he's like a murderer, and it's at a lake house. I can't remember what the name of that movie was.
Oh, you're thinking of What Lies Beneath, I think.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Classic.
You don't remember Lake House because your body and brain did what it was supposed to do, which is shut out tragedy from your mind, right? Yeah. So that's exactly what happened there.
Classic Lou says it was about a mailbox that time travel. Okay, time travel's a book. That's definitely
they put like letters in it and it ends up somewhere else. And I remember like Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock tried to explain it, and like they couldn't even explain the story because it makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, like an experimental idea. It's a good idea at first and kind of flounders at the end. Kind of like The Invention of Lying. The Invention of Lying, that movie. That was kind of like that. So I have to say really quickly, Classic Lou, I love this idea. I know that I just said it, but I love this fucking idea. Keanu Reeves as Batman and Alex Winter as the Joker. I just love that. It's so funny. It's such a funny inside joke for people who love Bill and Ted's excellent. And that Bill and Ted's movie is supposed to come out next year too. Mark Hamill. Yeah, Mark Hamill is the live action Joker. I've said that numerous times. I think it would be great as like an older Joker. I fucking love it. Are you kidding? I think everybody would go nuts too seeing Mark Hamill as live, but I think everybody just thinks that he's not physically able or something, but I think he is. He was able to get up and play Luke one last time. I think he'd definitely be able to be the Joker again and do Joker in live action.
I was disappointed that we did not see Mark Hamill. You saw the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. You and I kind of talked about it briefly. And remember he was... Yeah, I wanted to see Cockknocker. I was hoping... I was hoping he'd return as Cockknocker, but no.
I fucking love Cockknocker, man. That was so great. Does anybody in the chat know what we're talking about? We're talking about Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Is that where he first appeared? Yes, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and it's Mark Hamill as Cockknocker. He's got a giant fist and he's got a lightsaber. It's hilarious. It's one of the funniest characters. It's funny.
You know what's weird? I watched you ever watch a movie and you don't like it at first, and then years later you watch it again, and for some reason you're just like, okay, for some reason maybe you're older now, you just like it for whatever reason. You know, has a movie ever grown on you? That happens. Well, yeah. I was watching Chasing Amy the other day, and I'm like, I used to hate that movie. Oh, really? And then I watched it, and I'm like, this actually isn't that bad. Like, it wasn't that bad as I remember it. You know? Well, the Keaton Batman was supposed to be, for Flash, right? The Flash movie. That was the point of bringing him back.
Yeah, and that's sadly going to be produced or written. The writers on that movie are going to be some weirdos. So there's some weirdo writers, some crazy feminist writers who are going to be on that. So I'm sure that they're going to probably destroy the Flash a little bit. Okay, let's see. The most recent one is June 24th. Rumor Michael Keaton's talks include more than one DC movie. Batman Beyond could be only one of them. Michael Keaton is, as strange as it sounds, is reportedly having discussions with Warner Brothers of returning to Batman. New scoop from The Fly in the Ointment. Mike Sutton suggests more roles could be on the table, including Michael Keaton as rumored for not too long, and many want to see him in it. So they're not just talking about him returning as, when Hollywood Trades revealed that Michael Keaton was in talks to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne in the upcoming Flash theatrical film and possibly other roles in the DC universe, it wasn't the first time that it had been discussed to return. A live-action Batman Beyond was considered before, but Warner Brothers felt that it wasn't sufficient interest for them to greenlit. It's like, and people are going nuts for that. It's like there are all these people who are our age who saw Batman 89 in the theater who would love to see him again. Yes. I mean, it's like you're literally telling us that there are no older Batman fans out there. It's like,
well, it involves time travel. You know what I mean? It's Flash. So yeah. I mean, and the whole de-aging thing now, that's kind of become a thing. So that could be used. I hope they don't go overboard with it, but it's probably going to be used.
Yeah. So AT&T changed their tune to name the 90s nostalgia Dark Knight properties and content for HBO Max. So it's going to be called 90s nostalgia. That changed with AT&T, who sees the IP as ripe for the 90s nostalgia, which is about to hit full bloom in the near future. So anyway, it doesn't say specifically on anything, but certain sources say that, yes, a live-action Batman Beyond is being talked about again, and this time for HBO Max, although no development has begun. So they are talking about this. This is the real thing. They said they added if they could get Keaton for it, the possibility of this materializing greatly increases. So they are talking about it regardless of Keaton or not. And if they get Keaton, then yeah. And I'm sure Keaton would do it. I'm sure he would.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
I would love to see Keaton accidentally end up in the Birdman universe. So he's being taught. No, it's like Michael Keaton has his character in Birdman, which I don't know the name of his character in Birdman, but he's being egged on by his insanity as the Birdman, and then somehow he's intertwined with the Flash and the multiverse and all that other bullshit. Anyway, I'm just making shit up. I just thought it was funny that he was the Falcon in the Marvel universe after he had played a character who was being.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He's Falcon. I forgot about that.
Isn't that funny how after Birdman, because Birdman's I think it's an amazing film, and it's a funny thing that he played this character who was being haunted by his other alter ego of this Birdman character that he played in blockbusters that all of his friends hated, right? I mean, that's essentially what Birdman was. It was just taking a crap on Hollywood blockbusters on superhero movies. And it was kind of funny. It was just funny.